king kills a shaver every week because he had a horn on his head. He didn't want anyone to know about it, so he sent men to catch the shaver every week because none of them came back. Everyone was afraid. Today the king's soldiers came to the village again. The boy had the misfortune to be chosen. Before he left, his mother packed him 3 pancakes. It's been a long time. The boy was taken to the king's tent. The soldiers left one by one. The king handed the boy a knife. He took off his hat and let out its long horns. The boy was startled, but after all, he was the king. He had a job to do. The boy was young, but he was more skilled than the man on the roadside. After a while, he shaved the king's round head. The king took the knife and looked at it. He was very pleased with the boy's work. Then he offered the boy a chest of jewelry. The boy opened the chest, but it was empty. The king took advantage of the situation and pushed him into the chest. It turned out that underneath the chest was a cave with no bottom. The cave looked dangerous. In fact, it could kill the boy at any moment. Inside, the underground river was surging. The king was not satisfied until he watched the boy being swept into the cave and closed the chest. Fortunately, the boy was still alive, but from the mountain of heads piled up on the side, he could already guess that he had little chance of survival. The boy had just put on his hat, and the next moment there seemed to be something under his head. The boy backed away in fear. It turned out to be a giant python. The boy took out the flute his mother had given him and played it. This beautiful melody. The python couldn't help but twist and turn. The python turned into a pet. This pet seems to love to eat people. The boy took out the pancakes his mother had packed. The python ate the pancakes and then didn't want to eat the boy again, so it sent the man out of the cave. With the help of the python, the man quickly escaped outside the cave. The python thought the boy would give him another pancake, but the boy just waved and left, and that made the python ponder. As the boy walked on, suddenly there was a noise in the bushes. The boy was terrified. The next moment, a wolf popped out of the bushes. The boy climbed up a tree. The old wolf was barking under the tree. The boy took out his flute and played it. The wolf turns into a husky. He was so happy that he crashed into the old tree. The tree shook and the boy fell onto the wolf. At that moment, the wolf's stomach growled with hunger. The boy hurriedly took out a piece of pancake. Otherwise, he might be the one to be eaten. The wolf thanked the man for the pancake. He even gave him a ride. Late at night, he saw a house on the lake. The boy got off the wolf and went to stay there. What he didn't know was that it was inhabited by an old man-eating witch. When the boy arrived, the old hag had disguised herself as a beautiful woman. He didn't realize he'd be offered a meal. The boy sat down. The beauty slapped her hands together, and the furniture tied the boy up. Because the beauty had prepared a pot of boiling water for him, the boy wanted to play his flute before he died. The beauty, who had always been kind to people, naturally agreed. But as soon as the boy's flute sounded, his body twisted uncontrollably. The rest of the furniture followed suit. But the beautiful girl got carried away. She took off her coat, and in an instant, she became an old hag. The boy was horrified. The old hag threw off her coat, and the old dead tree was full of life and fruit. But the old witch wouldn't let him go so easily. The boy pulled out his last pancake. The old witch ate the pancake. She didn't want to hurt the boy anymore. She took her coat off the fruit tree and gave it to the boy. It was a great coat. When the man put it on, he became a little boy, and before he knew it, the old witch pulled the boy back to his old self. The witch turned it inside out and gave it to the boy. The boy became an old boy. This is a great treasure. The boy was going to do great things with it. A week later he came to the king's castle wearing it backwards. He said he had come to shave the king's head. 2 soldiers took him to the king's room. The king couldn't tell that this was the same boy who had shaved his head last week. The maneuver was the same as before, and his movements were the same. The king was satisfied with his bare head. He said he'd give him a box of jewelry. The old man opened it and said, "I can't spend all the jewelry you've given me." The king was shocked and rushed up to push the old man away to see for himself. The old man pushed behind him. The king wanted to drag the old man in with him. The old man had an idea. Take off his coat and he'll be young and have no mustache. Sure enough, the king missed his chance. He fell into a cave of his own design, cursing and swearing. Soldiers rushed in at the sound of his voice, but the house was empty. When the soldiers came to check, the boy slipped away. The boy becomes a little boy and walks out of the castle. The soldiers at the gate were completely unaware of it. Only after he had gone did the boy change back to his original form. From then on, the shavers no longer had to live in fear of their lives.